What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the fate of Laurie Strode and what some people think will happen, and I've got some thoughts on it too. So here we go.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, cause you're headed to the Nightwatch zone. Nightwatch zone.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to take some time to kind of talk about what I think will happen with Laurie Strode in Halloween Ends. And this is kind of going off of what a lot of people have speculated and theorized about. Now, there's a couple different ways this movie will go, and I've taken some time to think and talk about those different avenues. And the possibilities are there are a lot of possibilities for sure. But when it comes right down to it, if I was to put any money on what I think will happen with Laurie Strode in this movie, the one thing that I don't think will happen is I do not think she's going to be killed in the beginning of the movie. And I've heard some people talk about that there's a possibility that the opening of Halloween Ends will show the fight that we have heard about in the con footage between her and Michael, and a lot of people have speculated that Laurie is going to be killed early in the movie, maybe in that particular scene, but they've speculated that Laurie is going to get killed early in the movie and that the rest of the movie will be basically Allison's story versus Michael and so forth. There's other angles to what people have thought, but the bottom line is they think that Laurie Strode will not survive until the end. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I will be so damn surprised if that happens. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, because anything is possible with these movies, but I just don't see any way that Laurie Strode does not make it to the final act of the film. That's just my thoughts. You have, again, this is the last time that we're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis portray the character of Laurie Strode. A franchise that's over 45 years old. So, in my opinion, I just don't see her being killed off in the beginning of the film. It would be a shock for sure. And if they did the story correctly, if it was executed correctly, that could be very interesting. But to me, everything has led up to some type of final confrontation between her and Michael. And actually, I think it's going to be her and Allison against Michael. Hawkins might be involved with it too. I think he will have an important part to play. I'm not sure exactly what that'll be, but it would make sense for him to have some important part in the finale. But I just don't see Laurie dying in the beginning of the movie. It wouldn't really make much sense. They'd have to do some very interesting things in order for it to make sense, in my opinion. Just as a fan, I'm just speaking as a fan with my thoughts. But again, I think it's going to be a scenario where the opening will show the fight between Michael and Laurie, and some way, somehow, Michael is either harmed or injured, or something happens where he's able to escape, and that's when we get the time jump. That's when we get the time jump of the 4 years. And in that 4 years, I think Laurie is going to have a lot of healing that she's going to, go through. Definitely dealing with the loss of Karen and all of that, and the events of Halloween Kills. And then, of course, Michael is going to be found, or he's going to come back to Haddonfield, or again, he may not come back to Haddonfield, and maybe the radio tower is going to be a plot point where they're able to know where he's at. He could be in another town, and like I said, Allison might come after Michael, hunt Michael, and Laurie, I think, will be the one. This is what I think. I think Laurie is going to be more positive, more optimistic in this movie than she was in 2018 in Kills. That's just my gut. I just have this feeling that she's going to be characterized a lot more closely like to where she was in Halloween 78. Again, she's not going to be singing and dancing and all that, but I think she's going to try to let go of this obsession with Michael. And part of it might be because she just comes to that realization. Part of it might be because of Karen's death. Part of it might be because, you know, she's all that Allison has left. But either way, I think Laurie is going to be a much more positive person. And Allison is the one that's going to become more edgy and more dark and more obsessed, or even more obsessed with Michael. I think that'll be interesting character arcs for Jamie Lee Curtis and for Andi Matichak. But with that being said, it would be no way for all of that to happen if Laurie dies in the beginning of the movie. So she can't die in the beginning of the movie. As fans, and I know a lot of people, you know, have given Jamie Lee Curtis a lot of crap lately, for various reasons, and some of it, you know, can be justified, you know, because as fans we're all passionate. But I'm still a huge fan of Jamie Lee Curtis and a fan of her role as Laurie Strode, and I think that this is the swan song. I think this is where we kind of get to see everything left out on the table. And to me, story-wise, it would make sense that she would be in this movie, prominent in this movie, because she wasn't in Halloween Kills. So I'm really excited to see where all of this goes, to see how it all shapes out in the end. No pun intended, but actually pun intended. But again, Laurie Strode has to be in this movie. She has to at least make it to the final act. I don't see any way that they would kill her off early in the movie. And again, anything is possible. You know, we've seen a lot of weird things happen, not just in this franchise, but other horror franchises. So I can give you that. But my personal opinion, Laurie Strode's going to make it to the final act. There's going to be an epic fight, an epic battle. And her granddaughter are going to be a big part of it against Michael Myers. And I think that's the way it should be. It's very traditional. I know some people don't want to see traditional in this movie, but I think they can do this in a traditional way, but still have fresh and new takes to it as far as how it ends. You know, this is just the lead up. You know, I'm just saying she's going to make it to this fight. I'm not saying how it's going to go down. So I'm definitely interested to see how it's going to happen. What do you guys think? Will Laurie Strode make it to the end of this movie, or will she be killed off in the beginning? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please give the video a like. It'll help support the channel. And if you are not subscribed to the Nightwatch Zone, what are you doing? This is the time to do it, and we'd really appreciate the support. So anyways, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.